This cabin is my base, and I'm currently on a photography trip in Scotland, staying a few miles from Ullapool in the northwest. If you caught the last video from this area, you'll know that I spent the whole evening hiking up a mountain and wasn't too happy with the results. Today is the 11th of June 2023. This trip, I wanted things to be a little bit different, so I decided not to stray too far from my van.
4 feet on the stripes in the Alabama highway, out there in the open, just a wishing and a hoping. I could smell the pines when I let you in the doorway. Took the seat next to mine like you've been there before. I'm befriended.
If you look at the way that the rocks are all sloping upwards like this, I've got the ones in the background, some in the mid-ground, and then I've got these ones here and this kind of line sweeping up. I'm just going to shoot again on my favourite at the moment, the 90mm. Just going to try something kind of close up and kind of mirror the rocks in the foreground with up there. Nothing special, we're just kind of warming up.
I think I'm going to remember this composition. I'll revisit it at some point. While this one doesn't work for me, in the winter when the sea is more dynamic and the sky is clear and the sun should be just behind those rocks later in the day, this could be really nice.
Okay, so I think I found composition just from down here up to there. You know, there's rocks are a bit slippery and there's loads of little sea snails and I don't really want to hurt them because lots of them, and they, you know, they don't need me coming along jumping on their houses just so I can get a shot. So I've been trying to avoid them, and it is possible. So, but it does mean I've got to climb through all these, which is fine. But with all these stuff, it's a little bit tricky. I want to be just above here looking down, but I want to be a bit lower. So I'm going to pull that tripod leg out like that. Just going to check the kind of composition. Let's see where I am on the tripod, shall we? You can see the water's coming in through here, look. It's sort of swirling around in there quite nicely. And then that is kind of leading up to the thing in the distance there. On the back of the camera, that's basically what I've got there. Just waiting for the sea to kind of recede back and then it's going to come in. I'm not on a timer or anything.
I'm really happy with how the bottom part of this image came out. This is exactly what I was going for. The top part of the image, I don't know. It could be the light, it could be various things. But the image as a whole, I'm reasonably happy with. It's exactly what I came here to do. I'm going to be honest, I'm trying really hard not to complain about the conditions here, but I decided to throw on the 90mm and shoot this rock at a distance, just slightly zoomed in. I wasn't too happy with it, but now that I've checked back, I can see that there's these two little birds just sitting above the rock, and that just makes the image just a little bit more interesting. While I didn't think it was a kind of a keeper, actually, it's probably good for Instagram.
You know that bit when people always say, oh, the landscape photographer has to go back for his camera. This is the most committed version of that, yeah? I hope you enjoyed that shot, because I have to come back and get your camera. Ugh. Yeah, here we go. So let's move on from here and see what else this place has to offer. All this colour, it's wild. Now this video is sponsored by Vero. When I upload this video to YouTube, the first place I'm going to share that link is to Vero. There's two main reasons for that. Number one is that the followers I have on Vero are the kind of people that actually want to watch these videos. A lot of them are photographers, they're interested in photography. The other reason is that on Vero you can actually share links, you can share all sorts of different things. And it's great for sharing YouTube videos because you can actually see the link right there on the screen. You could share a game, you can share books, you can share videos, whatever you kind of want really. You remember that shot we took at the beginning with the water sort of swirling around in the foreground and the sort of sea rocks in the background? I don't know how I'm going to crop that yet, but I know that it doesn't really matter when it comes to Vero because I can post in any aspect ratio and I can put carousels together that are filled with, you know, portrait, landscape, all sorts of sizes. So it really doesn't matter what I decide to creatively crop. Those are just some of the reasons why I think Vero is a great platform for photographers. So if you want to check out Vero, hit the link in my description so you can come over, take a look at some of my photos, leave a comment, and I'll come over and take a look at your account. Anyway, let's get over there. What I'm trying to do is these birds that are kind of coming through, and they're coming through, kind of circling me. This one's coming through. Oh, he went two in the middle. As they come through, and the sky's starting to clear actually. I like what's going on with this boat over there. I don't know what they're up to. But the birds are having a great time.
The image for me that defines a trip isn't often the greatest photo of all time. It's more that it just represents what that area feels like. And for me, this boat does that. I think if there was one piece of advice I would give to new photographers, it's make sure you capture the atmosphere of the place, because when you want to look back at those photos, it really kind of sets the scene and adds context to the images that you've taken and maybe printed.
So I'm really glad that I came up here. This little patch here has given me a few just kind of unique and abstract shots that I think that I'm really chuffed with. I can't say for certain because I'm not seeing them on the computer, but I feel like I've got something that I can play with anyway.
On the drive home, I stopped to capture this image of my van on the side of the road. I found that I was capturing locations, but I wasn't really capturing the beauty that connects those places up. And I paired it with this other image from the coast, because I thought the greens worked kind of nicely together. The image on the left here is the actual reason I stopped on the side of the road. This is the viewpoint I was going for. The midges at this place were absolutely horrendous. I'd been fine the whole time, but here they really came to life. This is a few nights earlier. On the way home from the same location, I caught this sun just going down behind Sullivan, and if you caught last week's video, you'll know these little cottony flowers that I was talking about that are in this area. They really kind of set the foreground alive. And this is of course my cabin, Red Squirrel at Ecotone Cabins. It's a wonderful place to stay. I've stayed there twice now and it's just incredible, and it's a really great place to be if you want to access these hills and mountains in the northwest of Scotland.
Now I could ask you to hit the like button and subscribe and all those things, but what would be more important to me is if you could leave a comment, either tell me what I missed or tell me what images you like the most. That probably means a bit more to me than hitting those buttons that I don't get to see. So thanks, I will see you in the next video.